Hey guys, Dave here from Wolf in the Wild Survival. I've got an addition to my Noxious plants series that some of you probably have seen in recent years. It's called Skunk Cabbage. It's my understanding that it's an invasive species, but to be honest, I'm not 100% sure on that. I just know that a lot of people apparently originally claimed that it was a wild edible, and it's definitely caused its fair share to have a very, very bad day. So let's have a look. Alright. Okay, so here it is in early spring. Now, sometimes you'll see this poking up through the snow. These plants have the ability to generate their own heat. How they do it, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. But you'll actually see the snow melt around it as they come up and grow a little bigger. But the plant itself, it's obviously called skunk cabbage because it smells like skunk. And if you start playing with it, touching it, messing around with it, you will smell like skunk, or your hands at least will. Especially if you break the leaves, get any of the plant's juices on it. So this is what it looks like relatively early spring, sometimes, as I say, you know, right through the snow. Here it is just a little bit later in the year, where it's going to start opening up fairly soon and come into maturity, I guess you could say. And when it does, you're walking through the woods, you're probably going to be able to smell it. It does generate a very skunk-like stench that is not pleasant. Here's another example of what you can expect to see before it matures. It looks interesting enough. Some people might even say it's a fairly nice looking plant, something you might want to put in your garden, maybe. Others, you know, might think of it as crab claws growing out of the ground, something from some horror movie or something like that, and, you know, see it as some sort of a gross weed to be eradicated. All right, so here we are about 3 weeks later, give or take, and this is mature skunk cabbage. Now, I was lucky enough to find an area that it's growing like this that's relatively dry, because normally they prefer really, really moist, damp, swampy areas. Thankfully, I didn't have to crawl into another swamp to shoot this last segment. So touching the leaves generally will put a skunk-like smell on your hands, but it doesn't really bother you just by touching. What bothers is if you break the leaves, mash them up, or more importantly, if you try to eat them. They're full of little crystals called calcium oxalate that is very, very irritating for your mouth, your mucous membranes, any kind of soft tissue that's generally moist. If you were to take this stuff and put it under your armpits, you'd break out in a really, really bad rash. The calcium oxalate crystals are just really, really bad for you, and if you try to eat this stuff, you're going to have a really horrible day. And if you just happen to walk through a huge patch of it, you're probably going to smell kind of bad. So here we have it. From young to fully mature skunk cabbage. Despite what some people say, not a wild edible. Definitely avoid this stuff. Thanks for watching. Hopefully, I will see you in the woods sometime. If not, I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.